from the KUNV studios on the campus of UNLV. This is the smoothest countdown in America. The Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown with Pamela Black.
Hello, everyone. This is Pamela Black, and I'll be hanging with you live from the public radio KUNV studios in the fabulous city of Las Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world. We're going to be grooving with the Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown. Each week, we'll be counting down the biggest songs in the smooth jazz format according to airplay from stations across America. And we're going to be setting a cool vibe for your atmosphere. So we have some movement today. So let's jumpstart this week's groove with our number 20. He's known for his romantic style of contemporary jazz and influenced by his father, who loves jazz. And as a soul artist like Barry White, Grover Washington, and the late David Sanborn, here is the one and only saxophonist Kim Waters. He's up 7 spots this week, and here is the single Pacemaker. This is Pamela Black on the Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown.
20 smoothest jazz songs of the week. This is the Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown. Number 19.
Was our number 19 song and up 7 spots this week. Weekend Games by trumpeter Rob Zinn featuring saxman Michael Paulo. And now this week's number 18. They're a world-renowned all-female all-star band and they're based in Los Angeles, California. And for the last 15 years, this jazz ensemble has emerged as one of the world's most prominent and popular all-female ensembles. Here's Jazz in Pink with their release, Expansions. You're listening to the Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown.
This is the SJR T20, number 17.
And that was our number 17 song, New Hope, by keyboardist Bob James and saxophonist Dave Koz. If you're just joining me, I'm your host, Pamela Black, for the Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown, and this is your audio playground for the best in smooth jazz. And now, our number 16 artist who grew up in a house filled with music, and his father, who was a fan of jazz music. He's an American contemporary jazz pianist and composer who never really considered any other lifestyle. He's up 3 spots this week. Here's keyboardist Brian Simpson with his brand new release, Under the Stars, on the Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown. was our number 16 song, Under the Stars, by keyboardist Brian Simpson. And now we have an artist, Bassman, who came really, really close to getting on the top 20 countdown, but he's not on the list this week. He's making his own brand of gospel-influenced smooth jazz and instrumental R&B, and his musical journey started in church on the drums, and then he realized how much he loved playing the bass. His improvisation brought him to the strings of the late Wayman Tisdale and bassmaster Marcus Miller. Coming in at number 21, but not on the list, is Julian Vaughn with his brand new release, Gratified.
SJR T20, not on the list. SJR T20. The top 15 are next. No need to spin the wheel. We've got the sure thing. The Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown with Pamela Black resumes now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown. I'm your host, Pamela Black, and we're going to continue setting this cool vibe and bringing it all together through music as we kick off our top 15. So let's jump right into it with a graduate of the School of Audio Engineering, SAE. This multi-instrumentalist started out playing the guitar at the early age of 7, while heavily influenced by guitar legends George Benson. Here's guitarist and saxophonist Ryan Valette with his brand new release, Release Me. You're listening to the Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown.
counting down the 20 smoothest jazz songs of the week. This is the Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown, number 14.
And that was our number 14 song, Straight Up Down, by saxophonist Richard Elliot. Let's keep grooving with this week's number 13. A Grammy Award-winning keyboardist, composer, and record producer. He's been filling our hearts with his delicious vibe since 1975. He's a jazz fusion man and a smooth jazz connoisseur. Here's keyboardist Jeff Lorber with his release Teardrops in the Rain on the Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown.
SJR T20, number 12.
And that was our number 12 song, Pillow Talk, by saxophonist Kirk Whalum. This is Pamela Black, your host of the Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown, and we are so close to the top 10, and my favorites are headlining artists, which I truly enjoy sharing a nice variety of a surprise musician with you each week. So let's get our groove on first with this week's number 11. She's the newest member of the jazz supergroup Jazz in Pink and the first female bassist to ever reach number 1 on the Billboard charts. Here's saxophonist Phylicia Ray featuring Norman Brown with her brand new release, No Regrets, on the Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown. let me introduce you to this week's featured headliner. He has released over 28 full-length albums over the period of 32 years, maintaining a steady flow of new music that continues to push the boundaries of contemporary jazz. He's toured relentlessly with dozens of A-list artists as a sideman, constantly refining every aspect of his craft with the legacy always in the forefront of his purpose. His gospel music and jazz has influenced his musical sensibilities since childhood, and while growing up in Birmingham, playing in a quartet gospel groups, and at 24 years old, he decided to start playing outside the worship environment, maintaining his deep connection to gospel music. But he discovered his passion for contemporary jazz after seeing in concert Jaco Pastorius and Weather Report. He knew then that instrumental music is what he wanted to play. Here's one of my favorite tracks of his latest efforts, My Heartbeat, by guitarist Eric Essex.
Headlining artist. SJR T20. The top 10 are next. From the land of neon nights and jazz lights, we're back to the Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown with Pamela Black.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Pamela Black, and we're coming to you live from the Public Radio KUNV studios in the beautiful city of Las Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world. We've been grooving with the Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown according to airplay from stations across America. And we're going to continue with these awesome grooves. So let's jump right into it with this week's number 10. A skilled multi-instrumentalist, a Connecticut native with influences of David Sanborn and the late Grover Washington Jr. Here's saxman Doug Jones with his release, Turn Another Corner, on the Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown.
We're counting down the 20 smoothest jazz songs of the week. This is the Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown. number 9.
Was this week's number 9 song, Love Stories by Cal Harris Jr. We're going to keep our flow going with this week's number 8, and all the way from Galveston, Texas, combining powerful vocals with songs that entwine smooth R&B with some cool jazz elements. This vocalist finds herself recording mysterious melodies with sultry infusions. Here's vocalist Tanya Nolan with her release Like Water. This is Pamela Black on the Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown.
strike like a lightning thunderbolt, baby.
We're counting down the 20 smoothest jazz songs of the week. This is the SJR T20. Number 7.
And that was this week's number 7 song, and up 7 spots this week, Sunset by saxophonist Saxl Rose, featuring keyboardist Kayla Waters. Let's keep rolling with this week's number 6. Guitarist, producer, and Doctor of Music burst onto the smooth jazz scene as a celebrated composer and band leader. Here's guitarist Adam Hawley with his brand new release, Absolute Love. You're listening to the Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown. And that was our number 6 song, Absolute Love, by guitarist Adam Hawley. And we are so close to the top 5 and our Vintage Smooth Artist of the Week. And you know, each week I look forward to sharing a back-in-the-day artist or group with you. And musically, we have so many to choose from. So let's keep our groove going with a piano artist at heart. He began playing the piano at the age of 5, and he traveled all over as a child in the military family, finally landing in Puerto Rico. During this time, his high school piano teacher encouraged him to pursue music more formally. Later, he went on to study at the Conservatory of Music at the University of Pacific in Stockton, California. After graduation, he met and played alongside many great jazz artists, including saxophonists Paul Taylor and John Smith. In December of 2021, he lost his battle with pancreatic cancer. His life was full and he loved making others smile. Here's the extraordinary pianist Cecil Ramirez doing a cool track,
Vintage Smooth. 20. The top 5 are next. Always Bet on Black, Pamela Black, and the Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown. The 5 biggest songs of the week start right now.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Pamela Black, and we've made it to our top 5, and this is part of the countdown that I love because we get to see what you, the listeners, really enjoying. So I'm happy to share with you a soul trumpeter born in New York City but grew up in Alexandria, Virginia. And this is where he began playing the trumpet around the age of 11. He fell in love with jazz and started studying the music of Miles Davis, Freddie Hubbard, and Tom Brown. Here's trumpeter Lin Rountree with his release So Naturally. It's this week's number 5 on the Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown.
Number 4.
was our number 4 song, Catalonia, by guitarist Peter White. And now, this week's number 3. He's a classically trained pianist working in several different music markets, including video games and television. Here's keyboardist Deepak Thettu with his release, Timeless Love. was our number 3 song, Timeless Love, by keyboardist Deepak Thettu. And now, this week's number 2. Here's keyboardist Michael Manny with his brand new release, Triangles. You're listening to the Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown.
bets are in. It's time for this week's number one song.
And now, the moment we've been waiting for. A gifted saxophonist who makes warm, soulful contemporary jazz and R&B music since his debut in 2010. He was 17 years old, and since then, he's released several top 30 Billboard jazz albums. Here's the unstoppable chart topper, saxophonist Vincent Ingala. With his release, let's get to it.
Hey, this is Vincent Ingala, and you're listening to the best smooth jazz station in America. That's right, 91.5 Jazz and More.
was this week's #1 song 2 weeks in a row, saxophonist Vincent Ingala, with his release, Let's Get To It, on the Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown. The Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown was recorded in the Public Radio KUNV studios, produced by Jason Beatty, recorded by Wes Knight, music compiled by Kim Lindsay, chart data provided by Mediabase, and of course hosted by yours truly, Pamela Black. And feel free to reach out to me anytime on Facebook under Pamela Black and Instagram under Pamela's Place. I'd like to thank all the artists for creating these amazing vibes for us to enjoy, and thank you to each one of you for joining me today for this week's Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown, and I hope that you hang out with me again next week so we can share these amazing grooves. So coming in at number 30, which is going to be our safe bet this week, is an artist who is a Stellar Award-winning gospel and smooth jazz musician, composer, and arranger. He played the tuba in school and received a basketball scholarship. And although he was selected in the NBA draft, he hurt his knee before the season could get started. He has more than 22 albums on the table since 1989. Here's Ben Tankard with his brand new release, Outstanding.
This is the Smooth Jazz Radio Top 20 Countdown. Safe bet. SJR T20 bonus track.
Standing on the corner, like you're the latest thing. But I'm just here to warn you, when that man comes round to talk to you again, ooh, you ain't all that hurt up. No, you, that you can rely. But just